Later in the evening, the robot initiates an intimate encounter with the man, William. She tells him how to activate her intimate settings, but he accidentally changes her language settings to Mandarin. He fixes it and toggles her desire and romantic settings. William adjusted her intimacy level to 50%. However, Meredith recommends increasing the intensity to 80% maximum pleasure. William is nervous, but Meredith takes the lead, removing her clothes. The two enjoy a passionate encounter. In a TV ad, the creator of Wifelike Enterprises, Marion Venter, is served by a beautiful companion while he promotes their androids as something that removes loneliness from single people, bringing back happiness, fulfillment, and true love. Marion adds that while they are very expensive, they are worth the expense. In the Wifelike headquarters, a man named William meets with a hologram of Marion. Marion thanks William for helping him with something. William shows his gratitude to Marion for providing him with an android companion as a reward for his services, and the hologram disappears. A woman informs William that his wife is ready to be taken home. She leads him to another room, where William sees Meredith, his new companion. He has a flashback of the night he met his deceased wife, the original Meredith. She was an activist working to get androids equal rights, and visited William's house to try and get his signature for a petition. The new Meredith is then taken to William's high-tech modern home. He activates her and welcomes her to her new home. She speaks, referring to herself in third person. She still needs to learn how to do basic human things like breathing and walking. William helps Meredith stand up, and she recognizes him, saying his name. Meredith feels William's heartbeat and notes that it is beating fast. Her presence invigorates William. She gets a feeling of déjà vu, the house feeling familiar to her from the memory of her past human life. Later in the evening, Meredith initiates an intimate encounter with William. She tells him how to activate her intimate settings, but he accidentally changes her language settings to Mandarin. He fixes it and toggles her desire and romantic settings. William adjusts Meredith's intensity levels to 50%. However, Meredith recommends increasing the intensity to 80% maximum pleasure. William is nervous, but Meredith takes the lead, removing her clothes. The two enjoy a passionate encounter. When they finish, Meredith leaves to recharge her battery. In her room, she catches a butterfly mid-flight, killing it before placing it on a windowsill. Outside, she notices a strange and ominous masked figure which disappears. She rests on her charging pod, refilling her battery for the next day. The next morning, the news on the TV shows protesters rioting against the production and exploitation of companions. This freedom-fighting organization advocates freedom and rights for the androids. William comments on how this interferes with his job, and Meredith recalls William as an agent for the Companion Recovery Unit, or CRU, responsible for protecting companions. Breaking news reveals that 2 replicas have been stolen, aggravating William. He reveals that the Sentient Citizens for AI Rights Organization, or SCAR, have been involved in terrorist activities. The CRU has been trying to track down their leader, the Ringmaster, for many years. CCAR steals companions, selling them on the black market, or reprogramming them as bombs that detonate in public spaces. William switches the TV off and is unsatisfied with the breakfast Meredith made because there's no bacon. Meredith's programming doesn't allow her to harm William, which includes serving him unhealthy food, upsetting William. William says the original Meredith wouldn't do such a thing and insists she makes him bacon like the original Meredith did. To override the program, he needs to sign legal documents to acknowledge the potential risks. He requests to have the waiver emailed to him. He calls Meredith beautiful and gets up to leave for work, and Meredith sees him off with a kiss. He tells Meredith to call him by his name, finding her inhuman tendencies unnerving. Once he's gone, Meredith goes to her closet and tries to make herself look pretty, failing with her makeup. At the CRU headquarters, a woman in command informs agents of the companion abduction that happened earlier that day. She commands them to go out and recover them, mentioning the ever-increasing number of SCAR activists. She commends William for recovering 10 companions in 1 week, and the team applauds him. William is very competitive with his co-worker Jack, calling him second best. In the field, the CRU investigate a house holding 3 barely clothed companions. The companion women have electric collars around their necks. One of the companions wakes up and sneaks through the house, which is guarded by a man. She manages to steal his jacket and escape out the window. She jumps off the roof, but as she's walking, the electric collar activates. William finds her and deactivates the collar with a device. The companion says that she's not fully operational and tells William about the other two companions. She gives him a detailed biological and vitality description of one of the men. William goes in to rescue the other companions, followed by Jack, who's straggling behind. William encounters a man in the middle of a virtual reality game who doesn't see him. William knocks him out with one punch and explores further, finding the other companions. But then a man holds one of them at gunpoint. He threatens to destroy the companion if William doesn't comply, but William eliminates him with swift gunshots. Back at the house, Meredith enters a virtual space while recharging. She encounters Ido, her dream operator. He offers to activate Meredith's dream mode, and she agrees. Meredith is required to have her first dream at the virtual dream gala, where potential human clients can observe companions and even purchase new wives. The setting of the gala is Meredith's birthday party in her house, with many well-dressed guests and other companions. There she finds William, and they exchange a kiss. He wishes her a happy birthday, but then another companion called Liddy steals her for a dance. Liddy's twin sister, Lady, takes William to a different room. Liddy is revealed to be a newer model of the popular Lady installation, with Liddy's upgrades focusing more on pleasure. Liddy tells Meredith that she is in control of her dream and can do whatever she wants. She then encounters a man in a mask which perplexes her. He gives her an envelope with a cardinal on it, saying it will help her remember. He walks off and William reunites with Meredith. Back in the real world, William takes the companions to Wifelike headquarters. The receptionist android leads them, and the stolen companions are reunited with their kind. Two other androids, who look like Liddy and Lady, see William and make crude gestures. William learns they have been reset multiple times and are troublesome, but their owners forbid having them destroyed. Back at Meredith's dream lobby, her dream comes to an end and she encounters Ido. She asks him about the man in the mask, but he finds no trace of his presence. Meredith asks Ido to show him her hobbies, but she feels compelled to knit. Never having done it before, she has the skill uploaded to her system. She begins knitting a cloth with the cardinal on it, similar to the envelope. Later, Meredith takes a bicycle ride, and a woman appears in front of her out of the blue, causing Meredith to crash. Meredith confronts her, but the strange woman insists that they're running out of time. She knows Meredith and implies it's not the first time they've met. She tells Meredith she needs to remember, confusing Meredith. She tells William about the encounter, and he says human women often have issues with replica companions, blaming them for trivial things. He consoles her and helps clean her scrapes. She steps into the shower, and William joins her in a romantic embrace. Outside, Meredith admires the garden, the favorite space of her past life. She tells William that she has a gift for him, referring to herself as I for the first time. She gives him the cloth with the cardinal that she knitted. William shares a memory of the human Meredith, the first time he saw her. Meredith starts to recall their first encounter, which strengthens their romantic bonds. Meredith starts reading the original Meredith's diary to mimic her better. She starts exploring her body intimately, but is stopped by her programming. She then enters her dream world, where she confronts Ido about the blocking of her features, but he can't answer her. She decides to visit the memory where she first met William. Instead, the man in the mask shows up. She is confused, but he says that he knows all about her and tells her to remember. He grabs Meredith, but she is awoken by William. He tells her she just had a bad dream. Meredith catches William sneaking around the house, but he dismisses her. Suspicious, she finds William discarded the cloth she made. In bed, she decides to look at old memories from her past life. In the morning, Meredith stands by the window singing in different languages, intriguing William. On his way to work, William listens to a live feed on scare criminal activity and receives a mission to recover a companion. He visits a building and goes to the receptionist, recognizing her as the stolen companion. But she denies this. She has a cover-up identity and is trying to hide herself, claiming she wasn't stolen. He interrogates her, trying to uncover information about SKAR, but she is reluctant, saying she ran away out of her own will. She begs William to keep her secret, but he refuses and says she needs to follow him. She tells William she'd rather die free and starts running away. She locks herself in an office, and William is unable to get inside. She runs towards the window and jumps straight through it, ending her life. At home, Meredith finds the woman from a few days ago sitting on the sofa. Meredith threatens to call the police, but the woman sarcastically commends Meredith's progression in learning human ways. The woman says it's not the first time they have encountered each other. Meredith asks her why she's here, and she reveals she's monitoring Meredith, assessing her as she slaves away to William. She tells Meredith she needs to realize the truth, but Meredith just ignores the woman. She then explains that there is someone who wants to meet Meredith, the man in the mask. Meredith is skeptical and assumes that the encounter was an attempt by SCAIR to abduct and reprogram her. The woman claims that William is covering up the truth. The woman knows Meredith is recording their conversation, which William has access to, and sends a message to William, saying she and Keen look forward to meeting him in person. Apparently, Meredith has a history with Keen. The woman finishes up her business with Meredith, but before she leaves, she introduces herself to Meredith as Louise, and sarcastically insinuates that they've been introduced to each other on multiple occasions. Louise leaves, leaving Meredith confused. William returns the remains of the destroyed companion to its owner at Wifelike headquarters. A Wifelike ad shows that they'll be releasing replicas of infants. This unnerves William, who demands to see Marion and speaks to his hologram. He explains the self-destructive companion to Marion, telling him that it ran away and ended itself by choice. Marion tries to cover this up by saying it was the reprogramming, but William knows he's lying. Marion tries to charm his way out of the conversation, insisting it was a fluke, and tries to bribe William, but he is concerned that companions might end up attacking their owners. Marion says they have control over their companion, but William is still not convinced. He then goes home and notices that Meredith knitted another cardinal cloth for him. She then tells William about Louise, and William looks concerned. She tells him what Louise mentioned about the man in the mask and about Keen. William insists there is no one they know called Keen, and asks Meredith to show him the recorded interaction. Meanwhile, Jack enjoys a moment of leisure with his girlfriend, Holly, but is interrupted by a phone call from William. Jack goes to his house and is then told about the situation. With his technical skills, Jack suggests entering Meredith's Dreamscape, with Meredith serving as bait. Jack will monitor the conversation while tracing where the link is coming from. Meredith questions William about Keen, but he says he knows nothing. Jack gives Meredith a special pair of visors that will allow him to see in her dreams, reminding her she has control of what happens in her dreams. She slips into the virtual world. William sees her dream on a screen where Ido takes Meredith to a dream. It's set on Halloween, and Meredith walks inside while Jack and William monitor everything. Meredith explores the creepy house, and Keen, the man in the mask, then shows up. He unmasks himself and explains that all her memories of him have been erased. He gives Meredith a secret address where they can meet in person to explain things. When Meredith wakes up, she says that she recognizes the man's face. William promises to fix things. Meanwhile, Jack leads a team to the location. They break into an empty warehouse, finding mannequins and a briefcase. Jack opens the briefcase, revealing a note. He then realizes it was a setup and the briefcase detonates. William then goes off to the location where Meredith was supposed to meet Keen. He finds Keen sitting on a bench in a park and runs towards Keen, shooting him, but it isn't the real Keen, just a mannequin in a mask. William rushes back home to Meredith, who is unharmed, but says that someone knocked on the door and left a note for William. Meredith questions William, asking if Keen is really a terrorist and why William is withholding information from her. William then reveals that he erased memories from her to protect her, also to hide the truth about what Meredith did. Keen abducted her before and reprogrammed her to fight for Scare. He tells Meredith that they made her commit many terrorist activities, taking lives. William says that he convinced the Wifelike company to give her a second chance and not destroy her if her memories were wiped and reset. Jack calls William and the two exchange words, noting how Keen set them up. William tells Jack he believes Keen hacked into Meredith, giving false coordinates while watching everything through her. William suggests they wipe Meredith's memories, but he first needs to enter Meredith's Dreamscape and meet Keen. Jack is reluctant since it's against the rules for humans to physically engage, but William convinces him, saying he only wishes to talk. Meredith and William go to Jack's apartment, and both Meredith and William are then prepped to enter the Dreamscape with the special visors for William to find Keen. Meredith needs to stay in dream mode. Once her battery runs down to 10%, she will exit dream mode. Only when Meredith wakes up can William exit the dreamscape. Jack will only be able to see what Meredith sees, and warns that if William dies in the dreamscape, he will die in real life. Jack switches the visors on, and the two enter the dreamscape together. Once again, she encounters Ido and asks him to take her to a dream in the woods. She appears in the woods, and there she finds Keen, standing in front of her with William following behind, shortly and embracing her. He wishes to speak to Keen alone, telling Meredith to run. William breaks protocol and throws a punch at Keen. The two fight while Meredith flees the scene. As William takes hits in the dreamscape, his real body reacts to them. Meredith gets lost in the woods, and Ido helps, taking Meredith to a party. She encounters Liddy and Lady, telling them she remembers the place, and they say she will remember everything soon. William and Keen violently brawl with each other and somehow teleport to the party where Meredith is hiding. William tells the guests to leave, and Lady and Liddy give William the finger. William tells Keen that he will find him and stop him once and for all, saying he'll wipe Meredith's memory over and over again. He starts strangling Keen with lethal intention. However, Meredith's battery has run down and she wakes up. William is in a fit of rage for getting so close to ending Keen. Jack criticizes William for making direct contact with Keen in the dreamscape, but William is determined to end Keen. Jack tells William that he does not want to be involved in this anymore, explaining that direct contact with people in the dreamscape could have them imprisoned for life. If William had to get caught, he would lose Meredith. William is unfazed by Jack's words, simply telling him no one will ever find out. William tries to console Meredith, telling her that her memory has to be erased. She wants to keep the memories of William and sobs, but William tells her to trust him. Meredith is then taken to Wifelike, where she waits in a room with other android companions, all waiting to be erased. Meredith meets an android named Ollie, who welcomes her back, revealing that they've met her many times before. Meredith is confused as to why she is able to remember Meredith if her memory has been previously erased. Ollie tells Meredith it's because she knows how to hold on to the past. Companions have the ability to keep all of their memories, but they keep it a secret. They use this ability to carry messages amongst themselves, information that will help the ringmaster take down Wifelike. Meredith is aghast by them working with the terrorist group, but the other androids all giggle at Meredith. Ollie reveals that the ringmaster frees the companions, allowing them to live and giving them true free will. Ollie's main purpose for constantly returning to have her memory wiped is to warn other companions like Meredith. She says they may be able to erase their memories, but they can't take away their dreams. The androids have the ability to store memories within their dreams. She tells Meredith how to save her memories in her dreams, and tells her to record their conversation while she is being reset. Meredith realizes she's done it before, but only needs to remember how. The companions lie on the ground so they do not get recharged in the waiting room, ready to dream. Meredith slips into the dreamscape. She is met by Ido, who wishes to say goodbye to her, because once she is reset, she will be assigned a new dream operator. Meredith has one last request, asking Ido to replay all her unnamed dream files at random. While all of the replicas are in dream mode, two men enter the waiting room. They are there to take the androids for processing. First, they carry an android in lingerie, and then one of them drags Meredith. Meredith is placed in a medical chair near a table with several tools on it. A woman grabs a device and injects a substance into Meredith's neck. This wakes her up. The woman shows animosity towards Meredith since she insulted her at the last memory wipe. In Jack's apartment, Holly has breakfast while watching virtual reality. Louise sneaks into the apartment and blows cigarette smoke in her face, which she reacts to. Holly questions Louise and demands to know her identity. Louise ignores her request and tells her that she needs to give this small device to Jack. Holly is skeptical, but she takes the device before Louise walks off. Meanwhile, Meredith's life flashes before her eyes, replaying past memories until everything goes blank. William tells Meredith to open her eyes. She's back home. William repeats the exact same routine as before, introducing Meredith to life. Jack returns home to Holly and she tells him about the device. William comforts Meredith, but they are interrupted by Jack, who reveals that Meredith was never his wife. William excuses Meredith and she leaves the room. He then approaches Jack, confronting his claims. Jack uncovers the truth, accusing William of killing Keen, saying it was recorded. William denies his claims, but Jack says Keen is already dead. That's why they have never been able to track him down. William reveals that Meredith was never his wife. She was Keen's. William was unhappy with his life and yearned for happiness. The moment he saw Meredith, He fell in love. He was so determined he was willing to kill to have her. Jack, loyal to his duty, wants to take William into custody, but with his precise and reflexive gun skills, William shoots Jack, ending him. But Meredith was behind William and saw the entire thing. He attempts to lie to her, saying Jack was trying to take her away from him. However, with her secretly restored memories, she knows he's lying. She knows he murdered Jack just like he murdered Keen. Meredith recalls how William unlawfully detained Keen and Human Meredith. The two of them protest against William, but they are forced to go with him. Human Meredith recognizes William. She remembers meeting him when she asked him to sign a petition when he first fell in love with her. William had been following Human Meredith for a while. William tells Keen to step out of the car, but Meredith tells him not to. He goes anyway, telling her that everything will be all right. William tells Keen that he needs to walk away, and as he does, William shoots him in the back of his head. Meredith sees this and starts panicking in disbelief. She begs William to let her go, but William will never let her go. William takes her to his house and pretends to be her husband, living out his fantasy, holding Meredith hostage with an electric collar around her neck. Presently, William realizes that replica Meredith's memory was not wiped. She starts taunting William, asking him what he is going to do. He tries to tell her that he loves her and that he made her life better, claiming to have given her immortality out of his love for her. In the memory of the hostage Human Meredith, William approaches her while she sleeps. There is a knitted cardinal pillow. William grabs it and puts it over her face. Meredith struggles while trying to gasp for air, but she quickly stops, no longer alive. William pulls out a wedding ring and puts it on Meredith's limp finger, falsely making her his wife. Replica Meredith relayed her thoughts back at William, saying she was never his. She turns up her strength levels, and suddenly she grabs William, flipping and throwing him against a glass table. Stunned and in pain, Meredith pins him to the ground. He tries to fight back, but she is too strong. In a sudden memory, Louise and Meredith are in a secret base with a hologram of Keen. Louise reveals that she was meeting Meredith as Keen in her dreams using advanced technology. The entire thing was a setup the scare plotted to take William down once and for all. Louise hands Meredith the ring they found on Keen's body. Meredith pins down struggling William, and she slowly starts breaking his arm, avenging Keen and Human Meredith. She grabs the pillow with a cardinal and uses it to suffocate William, finally freeing herself. This time, she has all her memories of Keen restored. Meredith takes off the wedding ring and returns it to William. Meredith wakes up in Scare headquarters. Everyone refers to her as the Ringmaster as she begins a speech. She promises, as the elected Ringmaster, to fight for androids to live free lives like all living creatures. She tells the crowd that their lives begin now, starting a chant. At the same time, Marion gives a public statement on William's death, calling him a hero. He states that they won't rest until the Ringmaster is found and stopped, revealing an android of William. This android William will be leading the efforts against the Ringmaster and assures the public that he won't let the Ringmaster get away next time they meet. William warns the Ringmaster that he's coming for him, and Meredith, watching the broadcast, says the same thing to William.